Hey there, we're Talia and Ophira Edut, identical twins and astrologers. Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, where we bring the stars down to Earth. How the heck is it June already? Happy first week of June, everyone. It is the 3rd through the 9th, your forecast. Tali, right here in Seattle, and
Ophi in New York at the halfway point. Our half birthday, I guess, being born on December 2nd. That was something we actually literally tried to celebrate when we were kids. But there's a lot of other things to celebrate that have to do with twins, namely all the planets in Gemini. And there's more to come this week. This is Big Gemini week number 2, maybe number 3 at this point.
My God.
Gemini keeps on gemming.
On Monday, Mercury comes home to Gemini. Mercury loves being in Gemini. It's a homecoming parade because that is the sign it rules along with Virgo. So it will be joining Venus, Jupiter, and the Sun in the sign of the twins. So that's 4 of them. And then we get a 5th friend in the party on Wednesday with the Gemini new moon. So we're going to tell you all about that. Oh my God. I don't know. I feel like all we do is talk about Gemini lately, but that's okay.
That's all right. We were talking a lot about Aries and Taurus because that's the MO of this year. The planets are clustering a lot. The first half of the year, they've really been concentrated in a few signs at a time. It's really going to start to change as we get into June more and more. But there's been this very thick, dense energy, especially in April and May with eclipses. So Gemini being an air sign, even though it's very mental and analytical, we should start to feel things lightening up a little bit more as we get into June. So this week is the new moon on the 6th. But prior to that, like Tali said, we've got Mercury, the planet of communication and the ruler of Gemini, coming home to Gemini for a couple of weeks. And
so the 17th, yep.
17th, yep. And it's very much a time of capturing ideas, finding our kindred spirits, getting really in touch with what we think, clarifying and sharpening our thoughts. If you're someone who has a business or needs to market or package yourself in some way, get those clever, witty, pithy sayings that are going to be rolling off your tongue this week, or a friend's. And, the Gemini is said to be the sign of the twins, but it's really about this mirror, this back and forth exchange. So being mirror twins, if the best use of this week's energy, especially with Mercury here, is really don't try to figure it out all alone. Even if your brain is busy and active and cycling, ask for opinions, ask for feedback, share your feedback. Just do it respectfully. If you see something that someone is doing that you think isn't working that well, or you have a better idea, just say, hey, can I offer a suggestion? Give them a chance to say yes or no. That's always the key. The problem that is not that we have opinions and advice, but just that we don't usually wait for people to ask for it before we quote unquote offer it. So then they become defensive versus receptive. So it's amazing what a little bit of permission can do. And I'm bringing that up because we really are moving into a time when that little extra note of grace is going to take people far.
Speaking, on that, I think this could possibly be the week of the ceasefire, the week of negotiations, because Mercury's all about dialogue and coming to consensus. And it's going to be trine to Jupiter on Monday and trine Pluto on Tuesday. So we talked about that last week. On Saturday or Sunday,
Jupiter
June 2nd, there was a Jupiter-Pluto trine. Jupiter's all about global relations. Pluto's about power, control, wealth. So, they only form a trine every 4 to 8 years. The last time was there were three of them during the last two election cycles ago in 2016. So this is a big deal. It won't happen again until 2028, but we're really feeling it still because it just happened on Sunday. And so, on Sunday, June 2nd. So as we move into this week and Mercury comes in, perhaps being a little more of a diplomat in Gemini, helping us to see both sides of things, this could finally be a week where some alliances actually find, I wouldn't even call them alliances, where some warring factions might come to the negotiation table.
Some actual conversations with each other instead of, we've been in heavy Aries and Taurus modes. There's been a lot of shouting at each other, warring. And on that note, Mars, which is the planet of war, has been in its home sign of Aries.
Since April 30th.
Yeah, since April 30th. So it is going to come out at the end of the week. We'll get to that in a minute, but I mean, it is going to go into Taurus, which isn't necessarily any less staunch. It just is in a different way, but it's a little slower.
And on Sunday, June 9th, remember when, I don't know if it was the last time or 2 times ago, when Mars was at 29 degrees Aries, and then it went into 0 degrees Taurus. That was literally on January 6th. Of the January 6th. It was like, I think the Malay kind of began while Mars was in Aries and went into Mars and Taurus. It was crazy. So it's not like things can also erupt this week. So, there's just going to be a lot of contrast, and that can also happen in our personal lives where we're finally ready to settle some scores and negotiate and come to terms that work for everyone. And then other places, things just may seem just completely untenable. Like there's just no way to work it out and find consensus there.
One of the key players this week is the planet Venus. Venus is about peace and harmony and diplomacy, and Lord knows we need some of that. So Venus is making a few meetups this week. It's going to be exactly together with the Gemini new moon, same degree, exact conjunction. So that is going to be really nice because Gemini is very head, Venus is more heart. So it could make a really nice blend of head and heart. Or as we set intentions or have conversations or come up with new ideas, we're going to hopefully bring that Venus touch of art and compassion and consideration for others.
That's on Thursday.
That's on Thursday.
But let's not forget Tuesday, the 4th, which is the Sun Venus cazimi conjunction. Choose your word, your astro geeking word for it. The Sun and Venus are going to be at the very same degree, and that means Venus is getting bathed in the sun's rays, and
it sounds nice, like a tanning booth of some kind, but a spray tan for Venus. But the sun is very the sun can be luminous and radiant and generous and magnanimous. Beautiful if that fuels Venus. The sun is more of a yang energy and Venus is yin, though. So they can polarize, and the sun can become very authoritarian, ego-driven. At its best, the sun represents our leaders and authority figures, and Venus is love and beauty and harmony. So if we're lucky, this can also play into the prediction that Tali had about the beginning of the ceasefire conversations, because hopefully we will see some heart-centered leadership.
But on a personal level, at least on a personal level, I think it can be good for just, pouring your heart out, increasing the passion,
wearing your heart on your sleeve. Yeah.
Having those conversations with someone who you really find attractive, and even creatively, which Venus, takes some responsibility for. Some of your brainstorms could become virtual monsoons this week on Tuesday, with the Sun and Venus kind of falling in love with each other and cuddling up together. And then with the new moon on the 6th, That's also highly probable. But Saturn's going to be square in the new moon, so there's going to
Yeah,
be.
let's talk about that because Saturn kind of throws a wrench into some of the works this week. It's going to be at a 90-degree square, which is a dueling, challenging angle to the new moon, and then over the weekend to Venus. So Saturn is authority, but not the way the sun is. Saturn is like the strict kind of like
Auditor.
heartless, the auditor, like put the emotions and heart aside and just focus on what has to be done. It's like a soldier kind of energy. And there's a time and a place for every planet, including Saturn. Saturn will get the job done, roll up its sleeves when no one else wants to do it. But at odds with the new moon and Venus can be challenging because some people may be a little heartless, or some people may be overly emotionally driven. And that's one of the ways that we keep getting polarized as a people. And so we'll have to see. Like, negotiations can appear to go well, and then people can pull back, and Saturn can be very hard line and boundary to it.
And it's in
So
Pisces, which has a say over our spirituality and religious beliefs, which are definitely at the core of a lot of the fights that are happening. So it's like, will people just go back to that hardcore Saturn and Pisces, like religion as the inarguable point for trying to explain something that makes no sense on a humanistic level? I don't know, so we'll have to see, but I'm gonna keep.
another week of opportunity for what we've named 2024 the year of transcendent leadership. So it's always an opportunity to have productive dialogue, and it's going to be up to all of us. So it's just a tough time now because a lot of people feel like, especially with Gemini energy now, like they need to say what they have to say and speak their beliefs, but so it's very hard for people to figure out when they're standing up for something they believe and when they're part of the problem versus part of the solution. It almost is like no matter
We're
what we
both
do, we
both
end up
and
being both. Yeah, it's very Gemini. So as Jupiter begins moving more and more into Gemini, and especially at this new moon, I hope that we can raise the energy up to that next level of interchange, exchange, coexistence, dialogue. We'll see. Do your part anywhere you can. That's the only answer that I can offer, is just like, well, I don't know what everybody else in the world is going to do. They're very unpredictable now, but I know what I can try to do. See if it helps, see if it works. One big experiment.
it
Yeah.
is. I
So
mean,
so
dragon
let's talk.
years are
Yeah.
fierce. Yeah, they really are. Yep.
It really is a dragon year. So let's wrap up by talking about Mars and Taurus. So Mars, again, more warring energy. Planet is the warrior. It's been in Aries, like we said, since April 30th. And on Sunday, it's going to move out and move into Taurus until July. So yeah, the rest of the month, I think, while Taurus is very staunch and set in its ways, and Mars can be very combative, we certainly can't expect people to stop arguing or making their points. But Taurus is also very sensual, and at its best, it can be sensible and grounded. At least it moves at a slower pace than Aries does. So,
At least
with
by the
any
weekend, by the weekend, we may start to feel a shift. But again, hopefully there won't be any rallies that turn into, just utter mayhem. I
there
think
probably will.
as Mars eases into Taurus next week, and into the rest of June, things will start to get a bit more grounded. Mars in Aries has been energizing, exciting, but just there's so much frenetic energy with the Gemini too that it is hard to know where to focus. And Mars and Taurus can help us ground. It's going to be very important to ground yourself, very
In
important to
your
connect to.
body, in the earth. Yeah, like get out in nature, It's beautiful outside, at least most places. So get out and really savor those small moments. Really is about appreciating the little things, getting energized by them, going and looking at a beautiful scene, some art, taking in a concert, a festival, that sort of
I'll be traveling to New York on June 9th, which I'm kind of glad about because Seattle has a thing called June gloom. It
oh
like gets
Lord.
all like or January where it gets all rainy and shitty weathered in June, and then it turns beautiful in July and August and September. So I'll be out of here. I'll be coming to New York to where, you know, fun summer clothes and work
Yeah, New
on
York
the
City is
audio. We're going to be
oh yeah.
recording the audio book of The Astrology Advantage. Speaking of which, if you guys don't have your copy yet of our forthcoming book, The Astrology Advantage, use your horoscope for personal and professional success. Make sure you get it because we're running a contest this June. We're going to be giving away a reading to one lucky soul who pre-orders the hardcover. So we'll drop that link in the show notes. Also, make sure that you go check out the new system of astrology that we've created, the I Am system. That's what the Astrology Advantage is all about. It's like if the Enneagram and Myers-Briggs and astrology had a baby and you could have your entire chart but not have to remember everything. It was just one archetype for you to get the maximum benefits of your chart. That's what we've created because we know you're busy, we know you have a full life, and we know you love astrology. So you shouldn't have to always know what degree your Saturn is to be able to tap into the full power of your chart. So you can already start warming up and trying out the new system by taking the quiz and finding your archetype at astrostyle.com/IAM. We'll put that in the show notes. And then find out how to apply that to every area of your life: productivity, communication, team building, relationships, love, family, in our book, The Astrology Advantage, which we're so excited to share with you. Woohoo!
Yes. So happy new moon. Set those intentions, and we'll be setting ours. And we will see you on the other side of
Oh,
that. Right.
also, come join us for the ancestral breathwork journey with Sam Symes for the
Oh,
Gemini
right.
new moon. How could we forget? If you want to tap into your woo, which we do too, we have our practical sides with our Capricorn rising and our mystical sides with our Scorpio new moon. Definitely join us for this week's ancestral breathwork voyage with Sam Symes. We've been doing them now for half the year. And she's an amazing Celtic shaman who leads you through a breath work that will change your life. It'll change your molecules. And I've already connected to relatives on our dad's side of the family who I never met. Get messages from them and in this powerful meditation that is so transformational, so healing. So it's in our, we'll put that in the show notes too. If you haven't done one with us, the first one is free. And it's such a great way to usher in the energy of the new moon. And we do them every new moon and full moon every 2 weeks with Sam Symes. So you can find out more about it and jump in for some powerful community healing this Tuesday as
Right.
well.
Yes.
Yep.
So hope to see you there. And on all the channels, AstroTwins on Instagram is where we are every day, as well as astrostyle.com. So happy new moon. And may all of your high vibrational intentions come true.
As always, thanks for listening. You can discover more of your star power at astrostyle.com and be sure to follow us on social at AstroTwins. Join us next time for more cosmic fun.